Says Lorenzo Tejada's fingerprints match the partial prints that was found at Zeke's crime scene.
Don't do anything. I'll look into it.
I love you, Monet.
I love you too.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love power, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today we're going to be talking about Power Book 2 Ghost, Season 3, Episode 4. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And as I told you guys last night in the quick thoughts, early impressions, it's heating up. And it ain't looking too good for your boy Lorenzo. And in this episode, it wasn't too good for Detective Kevin Whitman. We smoking on that Whitman pack today. And man, as much as, he was pissing off Monet, I actually liked his character, man. That dude had me cracking up each and every episode this season. He was on one. I just loved him being around because I wanted to see Monet's reactions after he pissed her off. But we knew he was going to go. I mean, he was entirely too thirsty. And, with people that move like that, they don't last in power. And as we saw, he was a part of that list, man. So we're going to see what's going to happen next. It's going to be a lot more pressure on the Tejada family, on Monet. And they're going to have to make sure they're watching their every move. But let's hop right into it. What did we see in episode 4 titled The Land of Opportunity? Now, Effie is pissed off because these Jamaican Ave boys, they slipping up. Apparently, they're underserving customers, and that is bad for business. Now, I told you guys weeks ago that these guys cannot be trusted. Remember, Effie, she asked Kane, like, look, can you trust these guys? Kane believes that he can, but we know they can't be trusted, and I believe Tariq has some issues with them as well. So, y'all let me know what y'all think is going to happen. I think this is going to come back, and Kane is going to regret having these dudes work for them. Now, Lorenzo decides to do something special for Monet. To be honest, guys, he does feel bad about what he did to Zeke. So, of course, he brings her out in the family and they see, the big picture of Zeke on the wall. It's a special moment, right? And he just wants to make sure that the family is good. But guess who decides to pop up to the party and spoil everything? Detective Kevin Whitman, right? And he's telling her that he's going to catch her slipping. He knows what she's done. And he's not going to stop. I mean, this dude is making all these threats about what he can do, which, as I told you guys, he's been entirely too thirsty. You know what I'm saying? A recipe for disaster in the Power universe. Diana, she pops up real late or whatever, and Monet is pissed off. Your boy Lorenzo, he is checking Detective Kevin Whitman, telling him, like, look, don't make me regret doing something that, he probably wants to do. Now, Diana does not get invited to the cookout, y'all. She's not able to go to the family meeting, and Monet tells her, just go back to school. Now, we know at the meeting, Monet, she did not want to work with Evelyn's sons or whatever. She don't trust them at all, but we know Kane, he's calling all the shots, and Lorenzo, he's right there backing him up. And now she understands, just like Drew understands, that something's up with both of them and something's not right. Now, Cooper Saxe meets up with Jenny Sullivan and he tells her, about what he saw with Davis McLean, Tariq, and Monet. Of course, she wants more intel, and Cooper Saxe, he wants Theo Rollinson's file, and they end up talking about how, Davis McLean can go down for this, but Cooper Saxe does not want to do that. He's like, nah, that's not a good idea. Davis McLean, he most likely will beat it, and with him getting Theo Rollins out, that will gain the trust that he wants from Davis McLean, which will, of course, help him get more intel on what's going down with McLean and the Tejada family and your boy Tariq. Now, once Jenny Sullivan walks off to talk to Blanca Rodriguez, we saw Cooper Saxe take a picture of the phone number that was calling her, which we know was your girl Lauren. And based off the episode 5 description, we know Cooper Saxe, he's going to start digging deep on what she is really hiding because he's not trusting her, y'all. Now, your boy Tariq has went from a BMW, a black man walking, to a Porsche. And I know a lot of the Power fans was happy when they saw this. Your boy Tariq has finally got him a whip. Hopefully, he keeps it all intact and nothing happens to it. But I got a funny feeling that something may happen to it just based off the lifestyle that Tariq is living. Now, Effie and Kane have a conversation, and Kane tells her, like, look, I know Brayden did not, take out Lauren it had to be you. We know Brayden is entirely too shaky. And Effie's like, okay, it is what it is. She's trying to figure out how the hell he even knows this. But Kane tells her, like, look, it's crazy that you was even put in a position like this, but he respects her for getting the job done. And he's like, man, maybe I should tell Tariq, that he has a winner on his side. And y'all know Effie, she's like, hell nah. Tariq cannot know about this at all. Please do not tell him. I mean, if you're thankful for me, don't tell him anything. I'm waiting for the right time to let him know. Kane does tell her that he's going to check up on her later on to see how her whole confession is, going to go. But we know Effie, she couldn't tell Tariq, you know what I'm saying? She wanted to, but she just could not do it. Now, we get to Obi, and this dude stayed grilling everybody. He was grilling Brayden in this episode. He tells them, like, look, if y'all want to take Mecca's spot, you got to do exactly what Mecca was doing. And he gives them the new re-up. And apparently, they got to push these guns. And y'all know Tariq, hell, all of them, they was very upset about this. But they got to do what they got to do, or they're going to end up being taken out. Now, Effie does question Brayden on how Kane knew about what really happened to Lauren. And she's upset. Brayden's like, look, man, I didn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how he knows, but I did not open my mouth. But still, I told y'all, the way Brayden is moving, he ain't did it. So this is how Kane knew Effie was the one that had to get the job done. Now we get to the classroom, and the topic of discussion is the land of opportunity. We know Diana, she wants that independence. Effie, she wants freedom. And Tariq, his whole main concern is family. They have like the class discussion, and we can see how far certain people are compared to others. And we know Tariq, he's definitely up there at the top. This man had a lot of opportunities with his family, but we know your girl Effie, she's all the way in the back. She did not have a lot of opportunities, and she's trying to fight her way to the top, and it's not going to be easy. We know Tariq and Effie, they end up talking about, her safety number once again, in the whole grad school, paying that off, and her moving to Cali. And Tariq is like, man, you really would move to Cali to go to grad school? And she's like, yes, you know what I'm saying? She's trying to have a new start. She ain't trying to be looking over her shoulder all her life. She wants to be legit. Now, Tariq tells her, like, look, I can understand where you're coming from. I get it. And we know Effie, she wanted to tell Tariq about Lauren, but Tariq gets the text about his internship and he has to go, and she just couldn't do it. But we know the two will still have a conversation later on in the episode, and she still decides not to tell him at all. Now we get to your girl Dirty Diana, and Lorenzo decides to pop up at Stansfield, and he needs her to continue to push this weight at the school, even though deep down inside he doesn't want Diana doing this, but he has to get her to push it, because if he doesn't, it's not going to end well. And Diana, she is tired of dealing with her family and all this drama, but she's willing to do what she has to do to protect her family, so she will be doing it. Now Lucas, he messes up the whole deal with RSJ. I mean, the way he is talking, RSJ is not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't feeling none of the stuff he's talking about. Of course, he's telling him he's the Black Elon Musk and all that. And RSJ had to tell him, like, look, when my pops passed, all I had to, inherit was good examples, because we was so broke. He tells Tariq, like, look, make sure that you do something good with your pops' estate. You owe that to him, right? Because we know Ghost, he put in that work. He worked hard for Tariq to have the opportunities that he'd had. And I believe RSJ knows a lot more about James St. Patrick than we found out, in this episode or whatever. And, he continued to mention him in this episode. Y'all let me know. Do y'all believe he knows more about Ghost? And y'all know Lucas, he was pissed off about this, blaming Tariq for this deal not going through, telling him, like, look, if we don't make this deal with RSJ, your internship is pretty much over. So now Tariq has to go and make sure that he can help, get this whole deal with RSJ. Now, Monet decides to use Diana. And it's crazy because Diana kind of mentioned it, like, okay, now you need me all of a sudden. What about earlier on in the episode, like when you pretty much kicked me out of the family meeting? Of course, Monet does apologize for treating Diana the way she's been treating her. She tells her, like, look, I just been grieving for what happened to Zeke. Diana's like, man, it's messed up that you blame me for what happened to him in the first place. Now, she needs Diana to help out with Detective Kevin Whitman. And even though Diana deep down inside probably did not want to do it, she ended up doing it anyway in order to protect her moms because she loves Monet when it's all said and done, and she wants to protect her family. Now, Drew meets up with Gordo, and Gordo gives him some intel. He gives him, opportunity to make this whole deal with those guns. He has some people that they can sell to, but these guys are flat out racist, and it will be a problem. So we know they end up using Brayden to end up, making that deal. But Gordo tells Drew, like, look, we got some similarities or whatever. My family, they had issues with me and some of the things that I was doing in my life, but I have to show them that, hey, look, I can get the job done. Y'all got to put some respect on my name. So Drew is going to take this advice, and I'm pretty sure Kane's going to realize that Drew is getting tired of all the stuff that he's been on. But we know Drew, that's on him. He's the one making all these mistakes because he's so concerned about his love life instead of running the drug game. Now Tariq meets up with Rashad, old dog Tate, and Tate is giving Tariq some advice on RSJ and how he can, help make that deal. And Tate also gives Tariq some intel on the feds. He tells him, like, look, Blanca Rodriguez, she's looking into the whole Dante Spears, murder, and we know Tariq is definitely a person of interest, so he has to watch out for himself. Now Rashad is smart. He's like, look, if you want more intel from me, you got to make sure you give me that donation. Of course, Tariq tells him he don't know nothing about Dante Spears. Rashad Tate tells him, well, you know something about Bitcoin, so make sure you give me that money, that donation each and every week. I believe it was like $5K. So Rashad knows exactly what he's doing, but now Tariq understands that he definitely cannot make any mistakes and that the boys, they're on him. Now, we get to Blanca Rodriguez, Cooper Sacks, and Jenny Sullivan. She finally, reveals that Cooper Sacks is her CI to Blanca. She cannot keep it in. So they all will just decide to work together, and hopefully this can go well for them because we know Blanca and Cooper Sacks, they hate each other. And when it comes to taking down any St. Patrick's, they stay taking L's. Now Lauren is blowing up Jenny's phone like she's been all episode long. So now she has to go and meet up with her to make sure that everything is good. And apparently Lauren, she's in that house. She's flat out starving up in there. Now Jenny shows her pictures of Tariq and Effie, pretty much trying to make Lauren feel bad. Like, man, so he's just living his best life. And she's believing, or at least starting to believe, like, okay, maybe Tariq is a part of, the whole, game plan to take me out, which is not the case. She does, tell Jenny Sullivan about, Diana and seeing her on that rooftop or whatever. And she does mention how Tariq kind of, changed his whole demeanor up when Monet was around. So she definitely feels like something may be up. And Jenny Sullivan, she is taking note, and she wants to put surveillance out there just in case something goes down. So your girl Lauren, she's definitely, giving us some intel, and y'all know Jenny's going to use this. But man, the way it's going, Lauren may still be taken out by the end of the season. We shall see. Now, Kane once again punks out Lorenzo. We know Lorenzo is getting tired talking about it has to end. I am the real leader, but apparently not, because Kane has that intel on him, and Lorenzo, regardless of what he's talking about, he gonna do what Kane says because he does not want Monet finding out the truth. Now we get to Salim and Diana, and Salim, he's trying to clap those cheeks, but Diana, she is not ready yet. I just knew he was gonna get up in that this episode, but it ain't happening right now. He also tells Diana that maybe she should, cut her ties with her family and reevaluate that relationship. And Diana is actually thinking about this, right? She goes to Detective Kevin Whitman, and it really does seem like she's going along with the game plan to set her family up, but she's not. You know what I'm saying? I told you guys, Diana, she ain't gonna go for that. As much as she does not like what Monet is doing, she ain't gonna go against her family, at least not right now. Detective Kevin Whitman is believing that Diana is on his side, and he's thinking like, okay, maybe I can break into the spot and get some intel on Monet in order to prove that she was the one that took out Zeke and Carrie Milgram. And he went right along with it, y'all. I'm looking like, dude, you flat out stupid. You want to agree with Dirty Diana? I mean, this man was so thirsty to get Monet, he ended up slipping up and he met his end. Now, Kane decides to cut Drew out of the whole deal with the guns. He just wants to go with Lorenzo and Brayden. He believes that he has it, but y'all know Lorenzo, he wasn't going for that. Drew, he was pissed off, but we know Kane, he is running the show. He's calling all the shots, and he believes this is the best option. And we know if Drew never showed up, it would have been bad news for Lorenzo and Kane at the end of the episode. Now, We get to RSJ and Tariq, and he has made the deal. RSJ will be working with Westing Holdings. Now Tariq is able to get the QCP project building that they had, or that Ghost had. He's able to get that, approved to be sold. And RSJ is going to be the person that's going to take over that land. And that's good news, because now RSJ is like, bet, you know what I'm saying? Y'all going to do this. We might as well go ahead and make this move. Now, this whole guns deal, I knew it was about to go down. I knew it was not going to play out the way they wanted it to play out. Braden was able to make the deal, but old boy was asking all these questions or whatever. I told y'all a new face will set anybody off, and he was not trusting anything. We know this is your girl Blanca Rodriguez's CI, and he was the one that survived this shot. Now, we saw the shootout between Lorenzo, Kane, and of course these Proud Boys, and they got taken out. Luckily, Lorenzo pushed Kane out the way and saved his life, because he was about to be up out of here. Now, we saw Drew and Gordo. They made sure they popped up to the party. They got the spraying, and it was able to eliminate the threat. But as I told you guys, that CI, he was able to get away. Now, Drew and Gordo, they're bonding. This is not going to end well. We already know this. Drew's love life is always a weakness for him, and it seems like in season 3, he will encounter the same issues. Now, Lorenzo tells Kane, like, look, man, I push you out the way because I love you. It don't matter what we going through. I'm always going to look out for you. You're my first son. And, it is what it is. I always look out for family. Kane does apologize for treating Lorenzo the way he's been treating him, telling him, look, his secret is safe with him. And, they're pretty much good. I told you guys this was going to happen. We know Kane, is going to feel bad, especially after Lorenzo was taken out. I knew somehow, some way, everything would be good. I knew somehow, some way that everything was going to be cool with them before Lorenzo was gone. That way, when Lorenzo is taken out, that pain will hit a little bit different for Kane. Now, Detective Kevin Whitman decides to go along with the game plan. He breaks into Monet's spot, thinking that everything is good, but he runs into your girl, Dirty Diana. And he realizes that he's been set up. She's calling, the police. And now he's shook, like, man, I done screwed up. On top of that, Monet, she is there and she got the strap. She ain't playing around. She's not going along with the game plan that she told Diana. And she says, look, tell Carrie I said what up. And she takes him out just like that. Your boy Detective Kevin Whitman ain't here no more. And we knew this was coming. Of course, Diana, she's pissed off, like, really? Like, what are you doing? This is not a part of the game plan. Y'all know Monet was just using Diana to get exactly what she wanted. And Diana, she has realized this and she's upset. Now, Monet has to make it look like, it was a self-defense thing or whatever, that he broke in. He started putting his hands on her. So she needed Diana to hit her in the face. Diana was like, okay, say less. And she blasted Monet. This was so funny because Monet, you can tell by the look on her face, like, man, you kind of hit me a little bit too hard. Now, Davis McLean was pissed off, like, really? Like, what are you doing? I have to clean all of this up. When they take you in, don't say nothing or whatever. We know he will be able to easily beat this because of, that history of Kevin Whitman doing what he's been doing with the whole harassment. But as of right now, she's good. But as I told y'all, all this is doing is putting more pressure on her and her family. Now, Tariq and Effie have a conversation. He is telling her that, maybe when he get his trust fund for his mom and sister and make sure they're good, maybe he can, pull up in Cali and, kick it with your girl, Effie. So he wants to be out there with her. He's thinking about that lifestyle that she was talking about. And maybe this could work out. And of course, Effie, she ain't going to deny it. She going to be like, hell yeah, you can go ahead and come out here. This is what she wanted. She wanted to have a lifestyle with Tariq. And as of right now, it seems like that's exactly what she's going to get. But Tariq does ask her, what do you have to tell me? And she says, look, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So now we know Effie, she ain't planning on telling Tariq anything. She tells Kane, like, look, don't say anything or whatever, because Tariq is a good dude. He's been there for me and I don't want to mess this up. And you can tell deep down inside that Kane, he was really in his feelings. And I believe he truly likes Effie or whatever. She felt like no one really will look out for her. But Kane tells her, like, look, I got you. You have nothing to worry about. I still believe it will be, more development out of this whole Kane and Effie storyline. And in this episode, they made it a little bit more clear. But as I told you guys, once Tariq finds out the truth, it's going to change everything. And I want to know what's going to happen with Kane and Effie once that fallout between Effie and Tariq happens. Now, your girl Blanca, she finds out that her CI ended up getting hit, but he survived. And we see Angela's nephew, Junior, aka Agent Young. And it seems like he's going to, go along with the family, history as far as being in law enforcement. And it's going to be crazy how they develop this storyline. I'm pretty sure they're going to dive a little bit more into his character in future episodes. But Blanca, she's on one. She's like, look, she wants to know what her CI has. And I'm pretty sure he's going to reveal that he saw, a white boy. And you already know she's going to know it's Brayden. Now, Monet was able to get that intel about that police report about Mecca with the help of Davis McLean. And she notices that the fingerprints match Lorenzo. She knows that Lorenzo was at the crime scene of your boy Zeke. So now she's like, man, what the hell? What's going on? She calls Davis McLean and asks him, did he read the report? And he said, he kind of glanced up over it, but he didn't go through everything. And she tells him about Lorenzo's fingerprints. And he's like, look, don't do anything. He don't want her making a move because we know how Monet go. You know what I'm saying? Monet don't be playing around. We just saw what she did to Detective Kevin Whitman. So you already know she'll put your boy Lorenzo up out of here too. Now, Lorenzo comes up to her, telling her he got her or whatever. She good, as far as what happened with Detective Kevin Whitman and talking about they can't do nothing to you. He loves her. And Monet, she had to play it off like, oh, okay, yeah, I love you too. And you can tell deep down inside, she's just thinking like, man, the whole time this dude been lying to me, the whole time he was the one that took out my son, Freaky Zeke, and he got to pay. I cannot wait to see next week's episode to see exactly what Monet is, planning on doing and how Lorenzo is going to get through it. Based off the, the outfit that he has on in next week's episode, it definitely seems like Lorenzo is going to be up out of here. And the easy choice would be Monet doing it or somebody within the family doing it. But I got a funny feeling it's most likely going to be somebody else. And when he's taken out, it's going to hit very hard for the family. And as I told you, Drew will have to step up, and Kane, he's going to feel like he has to step up even more. So I cannot wait to see it. But I want you guys to leave your theories, predictions. Leave it all down below. Y'all let me know exactly how do you feel about episode 4 and what do you think is going to happen next in episode 5. Now, we'll be dropping that quick thoughts, early impressions for you guys over the weekend, so stay tuned for that. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.